This is the Frugal Gardener, and it's time for my spring tour. Believe it or not, it's been 6 weeks since I started getting my garden ready for the spring and summer season, and I've made a lot of progress. If you follow my vlog, then you would have had a chance to see the changes that have been made in this garden. So it's going to be May the 1st by the time you guys see this, so I'm a few days early. This is a good place to start. This is my nephew's grow bag, his little space where you see the alpine strawberries, and in the back you can start to see where the lettuce is coming in. So that was taken care of a while ago. This black hose here, this is my drip hose. I've been using that for, this will be my 3rd year, and a lot of people don't use them, and some people have even asked me why I use mine, and I'll explain that at some point down the road. But I'm moving on to, some of these are starters, the peas and the purple broccoli here. These are carrots. I'm not completely happy with the way this is going because it looks kind of sparse. We did have cold weather for a couple of nights, and it affected the onions also. So I may end up sprinkling a few more seeds in there. This is my famous potato bin where I put in 1 or 2 potatoes and see what happens. The collard greens are starters, the peppers are starters. These are strawberries that I purchased this year. These are strawberries that I had, I think this is the 3rd year that I've had these strawberries, and they're starting to come up. Moving on over here, these are potatoes that I planted. Actually, these are, I believe these are Yukon Gold potatoes. And I have a problem with potatoes because I have a lot more than what I thought. So I'm going to need to make space so that I can plant all that I have. I'm real happy about this because it took me a while to get all these in place and to get everything planted. This was the last thing I planted in this row. These are purple potatoes. These are also potatoes. I believe these are, I have it written down somewhere in there, but I think they're russet potatoes. These are purple potatoes, yellow potatoes, and in here is just Llama Beans. This was my Meyer lemon tree, but I never got any lemons, so I decided, what's the point in dragging this thing or wheeling it into the garage every winter, if it wasn't going to produce for me. So my original thought was to just yank it out and use the pot. But being frugal, I decided that I would use this as a trellis and just grow the beans up this trellis. And what I'm doing with each one of these, this will give you a clue. These are peas. So peas and or Llama beans are going to grow in the back here, which will allow them to grow up the trellis that I put together last year and rebuilt this year. Back here should be 4 or 5 of the elephant garlic that was kind of dormant over the winter, and they've sprung back to life. So everything here is looking good. Everything over here that I just showed you is ready to plant. I added straw over here and I put grass over here. Now, I bought this straw a couple of years ago, but I stopped using it because, well, grass is free. It pretty much gives me the same benefit. This is, I never throw away grass. So these are the grass clippings, and there's nutrients in those clippings, not a lot, but some. So the reason why I use these, I have a video that I just put up of how I did this. It works out well for me. I grow cucumbers in the top right hand corner, and I'm going to grow cabbage and broccoli in the main area here, and one little row of carrots right up the front. But getting back to my explanation, when I use straw or grass, what that does is it cuts down on my water bill. It makes it easier for me to maintain the moisture during the hot summer days. Yes, this will break down over the summer, but when it does break down, I'll get nutrients. So that's the second benefit from it. The third is it keeps my soil from compacting. So soil's not compacted. I get free nutrients, or free in the case of the grass, and also keeps, well, I said the soil is not compacted, the nutrients, and the water retention. So those are the three reasons why I started using those a couple of years ago. So the drip hose will go on top, but the quick explanation for the drip hose is that I have a large garden now, and even though I use my water catchment system, sometimes it runs out. I have about 100 gallons, and if I don't get rain for a week, then that's my backup. That's when I go to my drip hose, and it works out pretty well, except for one summer where we didn't get hardly any rain and it was a mess. This is my new favorite place when I'm outside. This will always give you an indication of what's going on, what I'm doing. In my recent video, I showed you guys this. There's a reason for this paint can being here. It looks out of place, but there's a reason for that being here. All this is what I recently have done. These are all strawberries that I grew from seed. These pots here were given to me by my neighbor up the street. These are starters for my purple tomatoes. These are starters for my purple cabbage. And well, these are my banana peels that I dehydrated. Over here is kind of things that I'm working on. These are wood chips that I got for free, and I have a couple of containers of those that I'll be using throughout the summer. And over here, now this is the first time I've shown you guys this. I have too many potatoes, as I mentioned earlier, so I'm looking for a way to convert this into a raised garden, which means I'm going to have to go out and buy soil, which I don't like doing, but it's the only way I'm going to be able to get all these potatoes done. This right now looks like a mess, well, because it is a mess. But if you follow my channel, you'll remember that I covered this about a month ago, and the purpose was to kill off the weeds. Well, most of them on the inside anyway. This is going to come off after I finish my next project, which is going to be the containers, and this is where my potatoes are going to go. This area The last time you saw this, it was also a hot mess, and I have pretty much cleaned it up. It still needs a little bit of work, but everything you see here, these are all peas that are coming up. If you look real close, you can see them in here. Easier to see here, a lot easier to see here. All through here are peas. There's a few here and here. Now moving over to the next area, this is my raised crate garden. These are strawberries from last year or year before last. This is all ready to plant. This straw here is not from me. It's from a construction site not far from me that the wind blew. Everything over here are going to be herbs that I'm going to plant. There's going to be lavender and lemon balm and just all sorts of types of herbs that you use in cooking or for healing. This area here is the one I still need to work on. These 4 bins, because I'm going to grow sorghum and I'm going to grow peanuts. So I'm going to have to fill those. That's going to take a while because I have to work the soil that's in there already. And this side, this is easy to explain. This is ready to go. It doesn't look good because there's wood ash on the top, so I'll probably work that in. But all these containers are going to be beans. Different kinds of beans, but beans. This is a blueberry bush here that is from last year, starting to come back. But these are all going to be beans, and I'll tell you more about that once I plant them. I'm going to wait about another week before I actually start planting. And this, I'm probably going to amend the soil here and then add about 6 to 8 inches, maybe more, into these tubs here before I plant the sorghum and the peanuts. So over here, well, that's just my compost bin. Coming down to the end, last but not least, as they say, this is pretty much everything from last year. This is my lavender that's starting to come back, and you keep seeing these guys. These are more of my my garlic. It's my elephant garlic, again from last year. That's the reason why it's looking kind of raggedy. And blueberries, and more blueberries. They're starting to come back. So that's the tour for now. There's a couple other minor things that I didn't bother to show you because they're still kind of a work in progress. In about a week, maybe a little bit longer than a week, this will be planted. This, for the most part, is ready to go. Everything else you saw pretty much is ready to go. And next thing for me to work on are the actual pots. So once the pots get worked on, they'll be in the next vlog. And once the pots are done, then it's back over to remove this, get this going, and the one next to it. That's it for my spring update, my May update. I hope I didn't hold you guys too long. Thanks for coming along with me. I hope you subscribe and hit that bell at the top right hand corner for notifications. And don't forget to post your questions and comments below. I read them all, I answer them all, I appreciate them all. So, for now, this is the Frugal Gardener. And remember, when you grow your own food, you'll always know where it comes from. You guys enjoy the rest of your day.